Welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, roles to be reversed, flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates. Okay, for those of you that are new to my channel, anything of any importance and relevance to the channel you can find in the description box. You'll also find directions on how to enter into winning a free reading with me if ever you missed the intro of any video. So all you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video. The word of the video always comes from my Psychic Soul Healing Oracle deck, okay? This comes with a workbook that has over 100 different shadow exercises, teaches you how to deepen your meditation and reflection practices, teaches you also how to do to really deepen your psychic abilities as well. Everyone's intuitive, so even people that don't feel that they're psychic, they actually are. And here, when you heal the effects of trauma, you actually become more psychic because you can see things from all different perceptions. How do you heal? Through seeing yourself through a different perception, through seeing your situation through a different perception. How do we get tested in life? We get the same situations and experiences that play out in our life over and over and over and over again. So a spiritual block actually is something that hurts. It makes you feel defective. It makes you feel like there's something wrong with you. It makes you feel as if you're separate from unconditional love. And that unconditional love could come in the form of finances, being able to support yourself. It can come in the place of strong relationships. Again, ones that are just all about lust, but about support, love, guidance. So again, healing the effects of trauma is imperative if you want to create the life and the life experiences that you want to have. So my readings are never just surface, is what I'm trying to get at. I always look at the spiritual blocks, I look at the shadows, and I look to see how they play out within your experience. All right. So if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you need to be open to getting a shadow reading. Yes, I will look at, again, what's going on the surface. Does your person like you? What's going on in your job, if that's what you want to find out. But we look at why certain things are playing out. So the word today is going to be self-observation, self-observation. Well, I feel like Virgo, everyone is in a place of self-observation right now, but for different reasons. And we come to a place of self-observation when things are not working in our life, when we don't like what we see within our life. We have to say, well, if I'm the main equation in the problem, obviously what has to happen is we have to look at ourselves. But we wouldn't do that unless we were not happy, unless we didn't like what was manifesting within our experiences. So I feel as if you are in separation from your twin right now, and your twin has spiritual blocks where you don't have them, but they look at themselves as, why does my life look the way that it does? One bad relationship after another bad relationship after another bad relationship, and it always ends in betrayal. And betrayal trauma is the worst type of trauma to have. It's worse because you get out of that situation and the effects of the trauma come with you. You now have anxiety and depression when it comes to relationship. There's a part of you that's stuck in the past. So you try to move forward, but if you don't know how to heal, which I feel like your person didn't know how to heal, they just would bring their crap, which is their baggage, into the next relationship. And they got away with it for a long time because the relationships were based on lust. They were surface. And so they didn't really care when the relationship broke up. If it didn't work out, it just didn't work out. I believe that you are in separation from your twin, and you really do have a strong emotional connection. And so they're affected by it. But I also feel like there are things in their life that are falling apart everything in relationship to relationships. So if they owned a business, if they had a strong bond or friendship that meant something to them, if they were married, if they had parents like that they were really, really close to, something happened where this person got knifed in the back. Again, which opened up all their wounds. So this is what I feel like happened to your person. It's again that they got stabbed in the back and it opened up all their wounds. So they're in a dark night of the soul right now. But because they actually do have a strong emotional connection to you, they are being forced to look and see how they treated you. So they're not happy because they're full of shame. And I feel with you, you're trying to work your process and finding your unique, you know, your gifts, but how you can channel your gifts out that you're going to be able to make an income for yourself, that you're going to be able to support yourself. Both parties have a first and second chakra imbalance. And we know when you have a first chakra imbalance, all your chakras are imbalanced. Those of you that don't know what your chakras are, they are the psychological and the emotional aspects of yourself. They are, again, how you perceive yourself, whether you perceive that you're strong and connected to the world and can, support yourself financially. It's actually related to every single, structure of the physical plane is there to support your physical being here. So you'll see many spiritual and intuitive people that aren't as grounded. So they are talented, but they don't know how to make money. They don't know how to work with money. They don't know how to structurize their business to make money. That's not their gifts. They have blocks. And the reason why they have blocks is because there was no support growing up. They watched financial problems, so they inherited financial problems. Your person grew up where, yes, there was no money, but what took precedent more was the really toxic relationships that happened. Where you, Virgo, might have had parents that, yeah, they fought from time to time, but you knew down deep inside they loved each other. That was just their process. Codependency and everything. But it didn't really matter. It was the financial struggles that put the strain on the relationship, is how you inherited that trauma. Your person inherited the trauma by watching their parent that they were close to be hurt and betrayed. And they actually inherited betrayal trauma from, again, what their parent went through. We don't have to go through those experiences to inherit those experiences. Actually, in the Bible, it says 700 generations. 700 generations of your ancestors have passed down their trauma. And if no one broke that, well, then you have inherited 700 years of karmic retribution. And that karmic retribution is that spirit who wants to come and collect its due. Somebody's got to learn. Someone's got to break the chain. And if you want to see what's happening within the world today, you're seeing a lot of that go on for different reasons. And it's happening collectively, where you see wars going on. Well, that's, again, it's karmic. It's after a while when things you stay stuck in a place for a certain amount of time. It's like that spiritual block is going to manifest within the physical realm. So I also believe, and not just the physical realm, which I just stated earlier, but believe also the physical body. So I believe the person, again, that you're connected to is suffering from health issues. Again, surrounded around the heart and the stomach. Because again, when we connect to people, to give and receive of love is, again, We have to, it's our free will, how we choose to do it. And we have to be in a passion of life. And if the person doesn't really have that because they don't feel secure in anything, then again, they're going to attract somebody else that also feels inadequate. So even though I believe you have a first chakra imbalance, Virgo, your person has a second chakra imbalance. And this is why there's a lot of self-observation going on. So we're going to look and see, how did that play out within your situation? Like, obviously, if they're in a dark night of the soul, what are they thinking now? What do they feel now? What is the healing energy that we're supposed to bring into our life in order to heal financial issues too? We would want to know that. We would want to know how to integrate the spiritual block, because we're all our own alchemists. All right. So first we're curious. We want to know, what are the hidden truths? What does this person really feel? Again, they're going through a lot right now. And so you probably don't feel this person near you like you used to. Again, soulmates, there is an ESP connection. It's based on like clairsentient, claircognizance. Claircognizance is knowing. And that's, again, that soulmates, they transcend time and space. So we can always feel them. Where I feel like you don't feel this person. You may know that they still care, they still have feelings, but you are not at the forefront of their mind. Finding out the truth crushed me. Again, I feel like that is not in relevance to you. I feel like that is everybody that I thought that I could trust. Like, I realized I can't trust, and it crushed me in the fact that I don't even trust myself anymore. I don't trust that. I don't know what I want. Like, your person is feeling a lot of like a numbness, which happens from betrayal trauma. It's like so much thought, so much emotion creates overstimulation. So that overstimulation is your person stuck in fight, flight, freeze. So they wouldn't be thinking about you. They're in survival mode. So this is why you don't feel your person. And this is why, like, I hope that you can forgive me one day. The irony is, I feel as if they've had time to really look at themselves now, and they're seeing like how they treated you. And, so even though this shitty experience that is happening to them that has nothing to do with you, you're actually benefiting from it in the way that your person's looking at and seeing how they treated you, where I feel like they were really cocky and they really thought who they were. So anything that you would try to even talk to them and tell them, they would half listen. They never took it to heart. And so, and they're seeing it because now they've had people do that to them. People that they trusted. I regret lying to you. Yeah, this person acted like they didn't really care as much as they did. And so now they're like, oh, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I should have did this. I could have did this. I don't know why I didn't do this. This is why there's a lot of self-observation going on with them. Okay. So we want to look and see like what, like, again, more spiritual cards, I think. And then we'll look and see the shadows, because we want to know, again, why you would pull in a person like this into your life. What do you need to heal? What do you need to integrate? Why, again, would you pull a person to you that obviously isn't that strong within themselves? Well, we know because you're not strong within yourself, right? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. This person is codependent, where they rely on other people, and those people stab them in the back, and they continue to do this. I don't trust myself. Then I meet people that are really nice and that really support me and they like me in that time. And then over time, like, they stab me in the back. And that's because they don't have a sense of self. Right? So when a person doesn't have a strong sense of self, they're also not rooted within themselves. So that's a root chakra imbalance. But in this aspect, it really affected their second chakra, which is all about the passion. It's all about the emotion. It's all about, you know, emotions that are really not processed. Your second chakra, when you have an imbalance like that, where you keep drawing people, like it's manifesting now in the physical realm, we know that your person has physical issues because it's manifested now in the physical realm, and person really not wasn't doing anything about it. They were staying in a place connected to other people, even though I don't really feel that they were comfortable in that space for a long time. And I feel like you're someone that has a big personality and is really independent, and you're opposite of this person, though you're this person's twin. So you have the same wounds. They're just channeled out differently. So this person acts like they have a big ego. I don't believe that you have a big ego. I believe, Virgo, you're humble. You're nice. You're sweet. You're down to earth. This person, again, they built their perception of themselves on a facade, not really on who they are. So they weren't really rooted, but they can make money. They're good with making money. That's why those people were attached to them. They were getting something, because over time, when a person disrespects you, they don't just stab you in the back, they take from you. They take from you. And usually what happens is the person just keeps giving more and more and more and more and more and more and more, trying to fix it. And that's why they eventually got stabbed in the back, where, like I said, it's devouring them. But they don't feel comfortable with themselves. They try to control this connection with you, having a problem going with the flow. That's a second chakra imbalance. I want to know everything about you, but I hold myself back from asking. I'm afraid I'll get in too deep. Like I said, they built their life on a facade. So there again, there is this unconditional love. And they would need to actually step into the place of unconditional love in order to manifest this connection. And so what we see is that they weren't even looking at fixing this connection. I feel like they would lie to themselves and say one day, because they felt the connection. And I even feel like this person would spy on you from social media and like keep tabs on you if you have mutual friends, like try and poke around to get information, drive past your house, do things on the sneak to still hold on to you. And I feel like you cut that energy. We're going to see, but I feel like this is why they're actually looking at everything. Where, like, if this dynamic didn't happen with the people that they're connected to, if you didn't walk away, if they, again, didn't need to have their ego come crashing down, they wouldn't look at how they treated you. They would have stayed in this place. So you can never stay stuck forever. You may want to stay stuck forever, but the universe will always conspire to do something to help you, even though you're not going to see it as help by the time that the universe has to intervene. It's much easier if you do it on your own, because this person didn't do it. They're really suffering. I've never felt love like this before. The depth of it can be inspiring, but also overwhelming. And so understand what that is that there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety because, again, I want this. I want this. That's the God part of self. The God part of self is in all of us. And it's like, I want this and I feel like I can have it. And then there's the dust part of self, which is all those relationships. All those relationships that I went through that didn't work out. It's not going to work out. And what if they do this? Now, what if they do that? Well, they did this. So what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? See, so much mind chatter and overthinking, trying to strategize, trying to figure out, because they're coming from a place of lack. Again, because they don't know who their identity is. Their identity was built on other people and that facade, and now it's gone. So it's like, we really had a connection. I should have never lied to you. I should have never lied. I should have because now I feel the depth of it. I know you're supposed to be in my life, but this is scaring the shit out of me. Of course. Of course, it's supposed to, understand that's what this person needs to transmute is that fear. And the only way that that's going to happen is through unconditional love. So, like I said, you're this person's twin and they know it. They may not know the terminology, but they definitely say this person's supposed to be in my life because I'm still thinking about reaching out. And really, I had a lot more before, and I could have come towards you before, but now I really don't have anything. And really, I have no business coming towards you, but I can't help it. Oh, this is, like I said, because it's not about the money. It's about, again, unconditional love is that. It's like, it's doesn't really matter what transpired. Doesn't matter how long time goes by, that love is still there. It transcended lifetimes. So you thinking that like what, like a few months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years makes a difference? It doesn't. This is, you knew this person from a few lifetimes ago. You, for all you know, you could have known them back in 300 BC before Christ, walking on the earth plane with the dinosaurs or whatever the fuck was there before, and they remember you. You remember them. They can't shake this. They can't control this. You can't control this. You can't shake this. I just feel like you're more at ease with it because you know how, you know what it is. You're more spiritual, like I said earlier, like where this person is not. They were coming from, again, a very physical world perspective. And when that happens, understand, usually the person needs to integrate more spiritual elements into themselves, right? And that happens through shadow work, and it happens through, again, going out in life and finding yourself and exploring without really being codependent, without being codependent at all, really. And if that means not being in a relationship, that means, again, finding yourself first and then being in a relationship, unless the person can hold space where your person believes that you can hold space, because the soulmate twin flame relationship is on, off. There's a runner, there's a chaser. And what I feel like is for a long time, this person ran from you because they hid who they were. They couldn't really show you. They relied on the wrong people. They kept the wrong people in their life because it fit a narrative that they liked. They wanted people to see that narrative and judge them from that narrative, when really there's nothing there. It's like because you have to go out and do that. So they may be, again, able to make money, and that's why those people, again, relied on this person and made this person, your person, feel good about themselves. So it fed their ego, but didn't really feel their soul. And what a twin flame soulmate does is that connection feeds the soul. So here is this person is like, oh my God, look at this. I pulled this before and it says, my ego is so fragile to criticism and rejection. I've created walls to protect myself. And that's what I'm saying. That is what has happened. And those walls are going to come down with unconditional love, whether this person wants to or not, because they're not in charge. They are not in charge of it. So we know that what your person needs transmutation in, they need to, again, open their heart. They need a better connection to themselves. They need to, again, be able to have a love affair with themselves, find what they truly want and like to do in their spare time. And it can't be other people. It has to actually be something that's going to feed them. And if they're in business, adding more business classes or networking, something that's going to help them connect to people through the heart so that they can see themselves differently. Now we're going to ask, really, again, that's what they would need to do, but we're going to ask what you're going to do, because I know that you already do that. And so once this person comes into your life, once the walls come down and they actually come into your life and are like, okay, they're still gonna not know how to do anything. Know that, because they're still the same person. They're attracted to you for all the things that they perceive. So they perceive that you have, again, a good life, a bubbly life, that you're happy, that you're spiritual. So you connect very well with people that, you like who you are. So again, this is very attractive to your person because it makes you appear very independent. So we know that once this person finally surrenders their ego, which we know that they're going to do, after again they cry for a little bit, because again, the poor me, and oh, I wish you'd just come back, and instead of me have to do this, because healing doesn't feel good. Once they get over that, their walls come down and they're going to take your lead. And so your lead is like, again, you're already doing it. So that's not the problem. You have ideas. You are, again, someone that is a visionary. You are someone, you have a problem making money. So we want to know why, again, what your shadows are. And I like what created that, and what would you need to do to work on to heal in order to create more balance in this relationship. Because with the twin flame soulmate relationship, it's in balance because one person is in the basement and the other person's in the penthouse, where both parties are supposed to be on the 6th floor. Meaning that if we're down here to learn that we're not separate from God, through seeing ourselves through all different perceptions, because God's supposedly all knowing, then what perception am I stuck in? And like, what would I need to do? Well, God says, well, I'm man and I am woman. I'm not one or the other, I'm both. So you actually have both of those elements within inside of you too. You're a man and you're a woman inside of you. Meaning you have elements. However, when there's too much of an element, so someone that has too much female energy, like too much woman energy, they'd be very intuitive, they'd be very psychic, they'd be very sensitive. They be their approach to life is going to be more logical, more emotional, more where again, well, it's more emotional, it's not logical. Where someone that's has a lot of male energy, they're going to be very logical, they're going to be very analytical, they're going to be very fact, they're going to not really take in the emotions as much. And that's just one example. There's thousands of others, the differences between men and women. So understand, when we have too much of one element, because we're supposed to be both. We are God, which is spirit, just in physical form. We're an expression of God. And we are able to connect through our heart, but through also what we do for a living. It's again the way that there's an energy transfer, and that needs to be emotional, which I feel like you have down, Virgo, but the financial part you don't. Where your person has the financial part down, but they don't have the emotional part down. So twin flame soulmates come into each other's life to come in so that they make each other into the best version of themselves, so that they come from the right level of consciousness. And the way that they do that is there has to be a lot of self-observation. There needs to be that. There needs to be not just self-observation, but doing things differently. And we can learn to do things differently if we love and have trust for our soulmate, our twin, like, and that's the thing. These relationships, that's what they teach, love. And you get that. You get a relationship like that if you grew up in a really imbalanced environment. You get that type of relationship in this lifetime, because you wouldn't learn how to compromise, how to trust, how to surrender your ego. Your ego is just there to protect you, and it overrides everything, everything. So survival of your emotional well-being is just as important as your physical well-being. And so, like I said, both of you people are bringing things to the table. Again, wonder, see, look, wonder. It's like seeing, I think for you, it's believing, right? Believing. And so it's that you didn't have any hope, because I associate wonder with hope, right? The wonder. What is wonder? Wonder is going out there and trying your best and expecting the best because you know that you are one with spirit. It's like it's not looking for problems. People that have spiritual blocks, they think too much and they get up in their heads. They're no longer present. They tend to, again, revert back to the original trauma. And so wonder, so where spirit saying it's like the no unconditional love means no expectations, no ownership. It just is. So have the wonder in it. It's like you can go out there and enjoy it. And instead of having preconceived notions. And that could be, again, also in relevance to your financial issues. It's like you're judging your process. You're judging how fast, you're judging what it looks like, you're looking in everyone's backyard, and all those things are going to try trip you up when it comes to trying to get money, because money is associated with abundance. And again, when we love each other and believe in ourselves, that you have to get to a place of surrender, spiritual equilibrium. And that's when you surrender to what has happened, forgive, and again, look what flew out, support. That's what you're healing, support, which we knew that already. But how do you heal it? It's again, no expectations, wonder. Like it's again, like the wonder of like, what's going to happen? Like, where are we going? Like, who am I going to meet today? What am I going to learn today? And maybe you don't learn that much, but Spirit says it takes a must to exceed. I make that multiply. You're all David going up against Goliath. Spirit says, don't do my job. God says, don't do my job. Do your job. Be like childlike. And when you get to that place of childlike, you don't have a problem with wonder because children don't. They go out and they just experience, and whatever happens, it's a gift, it's a joy. And that leaves us to want more, to see where it's an excited thing. Where Spirit says, you need to change your energy with that, with your finances. Yes, this person is good with finance. They'll help you with that. But that you both are coming into each other's lives to help heal, to evolve. And so I've been getting a lot of soulmate twin flame relationships lately. So let's see what is the energy for healing that we should be incorporating. What does spirit think about that? Like, well, if we're going to pursue this relationship, then eventually the person's in their process, and I'm not going to say, when is it over? Because we're not going to get a regular answer. If they come when they come in divine time, spirits. When you're free, and again, evolve more within your work, and when they again, like, fix some of their problems, because being attached to the wrong people, well, you had choices to get out of there. You saw the red flags. You tried to make that work. It's like, and for the wrong reasons, no less. Again, so that's what the problem is. That's what the karma is, not what you did to somebody else. It's the fact that you tried to make something work for what it looked like. And so you were denying God because God's inside of us as a gift of spirit. And spirit says, you're supposed to be an expression of love, unconditional love, because that's all I am. I'm the universe, man. I'm ubiquitous. And you have to get to a place of unconditional love. And here you are, like creating a facade, which is saying you don't really believe you can have that life, that you are doing all those shady things or staying stuck to people. I didn't even really feel like that was that much shady stuff. I felt like it was more like staging it. They were more shady with you, keeping it like that in order to, to like hold the facade. And they thought it was never going to end. Freedom, look at this. Freedom, freedom. So I realize my wounds create doubt, resentment, and guilt. So I work to free myself of darkness. I cast off negative thoughts, find peace in my heart, and discover the being of light within me. You're both going to need to do this. It's again meaning more shadow work, because it's like your thoughts, your perception. That's why Spirit's saying it's again about work. Please get into this energy. Don't have expectations. Don't judge your process. Don't, again, it's hard to do, especially if you're working in an office and you're working around certain people. People can make you feel that way. But then Spirit says, well, then you need to balance out that energy by doing things that you are good at and being around people that do love you and do support you, instead of keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and then you feel like I'm a failure. Anyone would feel that way if they were just working 24 hours a day and not really seeing anything. You're like, oh, you said a mustard seed, where is it multiplying? I don't see anything. The Spirit says, in my time, not in your time. It's again, you have to become it. You have to become it. You have to, it should be second nature. It should be automatic. And if it's not automatic and you got to think, that means you're blocked. Because when you are co-creating, that's what it is. It's your intuition, and then that intuition, there's a call to action always after real intuition. The intuition is the higher self, the God part of self. And if the universe is God, that also brings you the people, situations, and experiences that are going to mold into those experiences that make the path where there was no path just for you. That's written. And so it's hard because the world will always tell us something else. The world will always activate your wounds. And the devil is always listening, always listening. And so nothing can stop you. Only you can stop you. So it's all about to free yourself from the illusion that you are separate from God, which is unconditional love. Heal your shadows, because they will inevitably be your downfall and this person's downfall. So this is where you are right now. This is where my Spirit's like, no one's coming back at any time right now. They need to do some healing. They need to do some healing. And this is why. But that unconditional love is still felt by both of you. You just want this person to move. This person wants you to move. And at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to come back to you. However, it's not going to be in your time. It's going to be in divine time. I'm going to leave that there, Virgo, even though nobody likes divine time, because it's like, oh, that means I have to be patient. And I'm probably not going to like the way that it looks when it happens. And Spirit says, you're not in charge of the way that it looks. Don't judge the process. And that, my friends, is a task all in itself. But remember, we're down here to learn. We're not separate from unconditional love. I'll talk to you all soon. And if you want to win into that reading, don't forget to write self-observation. Talk to you soon.